Celebrations around the world after Israel and Hamas agreed on a ceasefire and hostage release deal.
It is set to begin Sunday, but is this agreement already falling apart? CBS 8's Chris Grow live in studio. You're tracking the latest developments and reaction to this. I mean, this is a major deal.
Yeah.
What's the latest here, Chris?
It is, and I think that's the key thing here. Will this fall apart, or will it actually make its way here to Sunday for the first phase? All eyes on the Middle East to see if this will actually happen. Now, Israel's cabinet has already delayed a vote on this ceasefire agreement, saying Hamas has gone back on parts of the deal. But according to CNN, Hamas says it's committed. CBS News spoke with an expert and analyst on the Middle East, and here's what they had to say.
In a very weak position. They have been, to a large extent, dismantled. They have very little ammunition left. Their entire leadership has been taken out and is no longer in this world. They are responsible, together with Israel, of course, for the death of over 47,000 people, the majority of whom are young children and women.
Now let's talk about the deal itself. The Biden administration says it was built on a frame that President Biden introduced last spring. There would be 3 phases to the plan. In the first phase, Hamas would gradually release the first of 33 hostages over 6 weeks, women, children, the sick, and men over 50. In exchange, Israel will release more than 1,000 Palestinian prisoners. As part of phase 2, the remaining male hostages would be released by Hamas, and the IDF would pull out of Gaza. The third phase would include the exchange of bodies of dead hostages and prisoners between both sides. Then reconstruction of Gaza would begin. Now, as far as reaction here in the United States and San Diego, the Council on American-Islamic Relations wrote a statement that reads in part, quote, "We commend President Trump for pushing for a ceasefire deal and reportedly warning Netanyahu that Israel, too, would face consequences for continuing to refuse to make a deal. We urge the incoming Trump administration to ensure that the Israeli government does not sabotage this ceasefire deal, and we also urge the administration to pursue the end of the occupation so that a just, lasting peace can prevail across the region." And the Jewish Federation of San Diego also put out a statement that reads in part, quote, "Today's news of the hostage release deal in Israel is both a welcome relief and a sign of much more work to come. We are especially glad to see that 4 of the hostages from San Diego's sister region are on the list to be released. Emily Damari, Keith Siegel, Zaki Adan, and Doron Steinbrecher. We hope they return safely." The deal was constructed under the Biden administration, but again, is expected to be carried out and continued by the incoming Trump administration after that transition team worked with the White House to get this to the finish line. Eric and Netta.